Hey guys, Mara here.
Wit Viper here.
Um, so we were getting together today to just kind of hang out and do some gaming. I've been pretty low lately. A recent death has kind of sent me into a bit of a spiral. Although you guys probably won't really notice because I'm going to keep up on my schedule. Actually, later tonight I'll have the next Bendy up.
And I'm not working right now, so I came over and we did a mini spa day.
Yeah,
Did sheet masks and watching some stuff on YouTube, which was making me laugh like crazy.
it's going to keep making her laugh because we're not quite done yet.
And
But
yeah,
we ran across Matt Pat's recent video
Yeah.
on the Game Theorist, and this is actually the first we're hearing of what happened.
I believe he said that they didn't hear about it until just recently. Anyway,
No, they found out on the 4th, and
Right.
they found out on the 6th. He went quiet on the 4th.
yeah,
But we're talking about Ronnie Edwards.
yeah,
Neither one of us knew him.
no,
We didn't have that pleasure. I kind of wish we did, because honestly, when it comes to editing, that guy was a king.
yeah.
Game Theory is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a series that she and I both follow, and
Mhm.
we are both avid theorists. We love everything Matt Pat does because he
Yeah.
talks about so many games that we are truly obsessed with.
Yeah.
Like, I just introduced her to all the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff,
Yeah.
which I know drives Matt crazy, but Ronnie was the editor for all of that.
Yeah. He was
And
the behind the scenes guy.
on top of it, he did have his own channel and his
Yes.
own stuff, and we followed him too.
Yep.
And to hear that he's passed is not easy.
No.
It's never easy when you hear another YouTuber has gone.
And it doesn't matter if you knew them or not. Personally,
We're all a community,
yeah.
and we all feel it.
And despite what YouTube's doing, any of the other crap that we're not going to go into, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. What matters is we all have the love of the game, of video games, of other gaming, and
Of
Community.
makeup, of what have you.
yeah,
it's
just community.
it's this community as a whole, and hearing that Ronnie has passed is actually greatly saddening. Hearing that he has decided to end the story is never easy. And from two people who do suffer depression and anxiety
And PTSD.
and PTSD, it's hard. A lot of people are going to say that he's being selfish and he took the easy way out. And
I want to tell you guys, I'm 43, okay?
31.
When I turned, I was having a really hard time. I couldn't get myself out of the depressive spiral. Like, I couldn't. I tried and I tried and I just couldn't. It was so deep down because of all this stuff happening in my life, which I'm not going to go into because it doesn't matter. The point being is that I felt I couldn't get out. And I wanted it to end. Not I wanted to die, just I wanted it to end, which usually ends up becoming I'm going to die because it's the only way I can end. But I made the choice when I turned 40 that I was going to go get help. And I admitted myself. And it was 3 days, 3.5 days. And I got to see others who had other problems and were in the same boat as me. I'm still friends with a couple of them. But I made the choice, and it wasn't about not to be selfish. It was to go forward. Because that's really the choice. The choice is not, am I going to end it or am I going to stay? It was, no, I'm going to keep fighting. And that's the hardest. Sometimes some people may feel they don't have enough of a support network, or they don't want to lean on their support network because they feel like they're a burden. That's where the danger is. And you may not always see the signs. You may not always see how bad it is because, well, you're suffering from depression. You're good at masks. You're good at faking being normal. So even if people that you love, that you care about, aren't displaying any of these stereotypical signs of being sad, not wanting to go out, not eating, over medicating, any of these things, you may not see those. A long time ago, 20 years ago, 20-ish years ago, a very good friend of ours, Zeke, great guy, fantastic artist. Oh my God, he was so talented. He was so smart. And he suffered from depression. He was taking medication. He was getting therapy, just like most of us are, right? Medication therapy, right? That's what you got to do.
Therapy here.
Yeah, it's what you got to do. And he seemed fine. He seemed happy. He was making plans to do this, that, and the other with people. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, his girlfriend didn't hear from him. And she ended up finally going over to his place to see what was going on. She found him dead. He had hung himself in his closet. We were shocked. And we went through survivor's guilt in a way, because we kept racking our brains. What did we miss? How did we not see this? Why?
How could we not see? How did we not know?
And you know what? The answer is we didn't know because he didn't let us. And when you're that depressed, when you're in that dark of a space, I can tell you from experience, you
don't want anyone to know.
You don't want to burden anyone with it. You really don't. It becomes
she's done it to me.
It's a me versus everything else.
And I have to take this on alone. I can't rely on anyone else to do this for me. It has to be me.
Great. Because I'm the only one that can fix myself, and I don't want my loved ones
to have to deal with this.
Right.
And it's very much a similar story over here. About 3 years ago, I was in a pretty terrible situation, and had it not been for my mother and my sister and one of my best friends, who's over on my Twitch, Calthus, pops up.
Yeah.
Had it not been for them, I'd still be in that terrible situation.
Yeah.
And I felt low. I felt worthless. I felt meaningless. And to be fair, I've always struggled with that. I've always had a very low self-worth. I've always felt like I was never enough for other people, for my family, for myself, even for YouTube, actually. That's actually what kept me off YouTube for so many years. I actually started watching YouTube Let's Plays back in 2005 when they first became a thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it. And then I sat there and thought, no, I'm not good enough. I'm not funny enough. I can't do this.
I was a producer for podcasts for World of Warcraft and things. I was behind the scenes, right? A lot of cases. Eventually I ended up in front of the camera, but the spotlight.
Sorry, I have to
that BlizzPro did, right? I ended up being part of a live stream on Twitch. But before that, I was always behind the scenes. I was the one who did all the research. I was the one that pulled all the notes. I was the one that did all this crap, right? And
it's not easy.
But I couldn't. But when I said the idea to someone I was producing for, that I wanted to have my own channel. I wanted to call it the Lifeline. You have the love line, right? It's everyone knows
the Lifeline.
It was the Lifeline, and it was basically, hey, if you're feeling down, you're feeling low. That was what my channel was about. Was, hey, send questions, I'll answer them. I will tell you about myself.
Hey, let's talk.
And I was told by this person who was at the time pretty famous, or at least, World of Warcraft stuff, right? That no one would want to watch that channel. No one would want to have anything to do with it. And so I didn't.
My ex told me I couldn't do YouTube. I couldn't do Twitch. Who would watch? Who would care? So you want to change the world. So you want to do good. Who fucking cares? And that just compounded on my own depression.
Yep.
And even after getting out of the situation, I can't tell you how many times I sat there in my parents' basement because I had to move home.
Yeah.
And I thought about just making it stop.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's really hard not only to drag yourself out of that, but to admit to yourself that, am I really having these thoughts? Am I really thinking about ending everything. And you don't always have that ability. There was this kid back in high school. I've always been a weirdo. I've always kind of attracted the LGBTQ community because I'm bi.
Yeah.
And there was this kid. I met him when he was a freshman, and I was always the kind of person to take people under my wings. I do that. That's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so sweet, and he was so brilliant. He and I had creative writing together, and he was good. Like, he could make you imagine anything he wrote on a page because he described it so well. And it wasn't like Tolkien. It wasn't the, like, I'm going to spend 200 pages describing a leaf. He would...
Yeah, King suffers.
And he does. But this kid was so good. Like, he would just immerse you in everything he did. And he was gay. And it actually took him 2 months to even come out to me, and he's like, yes, I just, you're one of my friends, and I want to tell you I'm gay. And I went, okay.
Yeah.
And he went,
okay.
What? I'm like, okay, you're gay. All right.
Doesn't change who you are.
Not a problem. Don't care. Doesn't really bother me.
Doesn't impact how I feel about you.
And that's how I was before before my transformation. And unfortunately I do have to laugh and joke a little bit, because if I don't, I'm going to start crying, and I don't want to cry, because this is not something that should make me cry. It's something that should make me angry.
It's both.
But I met him, I want to say my junior or senior year. And I kept up with him throughout the rest of my high school career, and kept up with him through his. And he was a very good friend of mine, and several years ago, he moved out to California, and he wasn't gay anymore.
Yeah.
Because his parents said, no, you're not gay. You can't be gay.
Yeah.
And he was depressed, and I knew it. I talked to him, and I'd be on the phone with him at least once a week, being like, hey, what's up, Josh? Let's talk. Tell me what's going on in your life. Let's have a chat. And, like, I met his girlfriend through talking on Skype, and I didn't say anything. It's Josh's life, not mine.
Yep.
And I went through a nasty breakup, not nearly as bad as the most recent one, but I went through a nasty breakup. And I was working at Verizon, and I got a phone call from Josh's girlfriend. And I picked up the phone because I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly the weekly call.
Right.
And I picked up the phone and went, hey, what's up? And I just heard tears on the other line because she had found him. And he left a note saying he couldn't lie anymore, and he couldn't lie to himself, and he couldn't lie to the people closest to him, and he didn't see a way out. And I'm not going to lie, I was so heartbroken, I blacked out drunk that night. I went to a karaoke bar that I know. I had some friends with me. I couldn't, and to my shame, I dressed in a way that I knew Josh didn't like on me. I smoked clove cigarettes, which I knew he didn't like. I did a lot of things to basically do the what the fuck were you thinking? Because I couldn't say that to him.
Right.
He wasn't there for me to yell at. And I was a lot angrier when I was younger. But as I got older, I sat there and I looked at it, and I've suffered my own depression and gone, holy shit, this is how he felt. This is what he was thinking. And I get it. And it's scary that I get this.
Yeah.
And that's not... Reach out. Talk to people. Do something. Don't just sit there. And this sounds like I'm yelling, and I'm not meaning to. I'm trying hard not to cry, and I have to cover it. You have to reach out. You can't just be quiet.
So Amara, Jess, right? We have Viper, Liz, right? We're people behind the camera. Like, you've
we're
seen
people on the camera, to be fair.
You look at any of the bigger YouTubers, and they're still them. They're still who they are, right? And there's no shame in that, But reach out. I mean, Amara here has done more than one charity live stream for suicide prevention because we both have been touched by having people we know end it.
And by thoughts ourselves of ending it.
When things were the bleakest and the darkest in our lives, even if it didn't, quote, make sense that we would be in that dark place.
It's still there.
It's not that, I know it feels like you'll be judged if you let people know you.
You won't.
The people who really love you, who will care about you, will be like, okay, let's talk then. What can I do to help?
The hardest thing is admitting that you need help. And there's no shame in it. When I finally told my family I was seeking therapy 4 years ago before I even got dumped,
yeah,
it was hard saying I need help and I'm seeking it because I can't do this alone.
When I committed to myself the day after my 40th birthday, I had those saying, well, you got an appointment with your psychiatrist in just 4 days. Can you wait? No,
you can't.
At that point, I couldn't, and I knew that. And it wasn't that I was on the edge of killing myself. I was on the edge of I can't cope, and I don't know what to do. And I made the only decision that I could possibly make. Because one of the things I was told by a therapist who was amazing, swear to God,
is that the one that I'm aware of?
Yeah. She said
the woman is psychic, by the way.
She said something that I had thought before. She just put it better. When you kill yourself, yes, feel no more pain, feel no more sadness, no more loneliness, none of those things. But you also don't feel any of the positive. You don't feel any of the good things that are there.
There's no joy. Coming. There's no happiness. There's no love.
So that rudimentary thought made it so I never attempted. But when she put it into those words, it was like, yeah, that's what kept me going, is that I had to remember that I wouldn't get the good things too.
It's the same thing that stopped me every time. What's this going to do to Liz? What's this going to do to Ray? What's it going to do to my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law, my niece?
Yeah.
What's it going to do to Paul and Kristen and Nicole? What's it going to do to Russ? And yeah, okay, it's slightly piling on, and I know. But if that's what helps,
yeah,
do it. You know, if talking to somebody helps, reach out. Do a text line if you're not comfortable with a phone call.
Yeah.
Trisha Jean does the suicide text line. I know, because every time she starts a shift, she texts me. Says, hey, I'm about to start a shift. Why? Because she suffers depression and anxiety too. And I talk to her through all of it.
I play a LARP. It's called Dystopia Rising.
We're nerds. It's okay.
We're nerds, yes. Dystopia Rising. And it's a weekend-long immersion game. So you're a character the whole time. Like, from game start to game end, you're your character. Basically, how do you sleep as your character, you wake up as your character, all of these things.
It's a nice form of escapism.
It's a great game. It's really fun, right? And we still do Vampire LARP and everything else, too.
I do it at least once a week, so I can escape.
Yeah. And have a reason to dress up and look pretty.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I mean, I do that anyway.
Well, that's true. You just have to wake up. How you look.
Clearly.
As Bianca Del Rio once said.
Yes.
I wake up like this. Because Beyonce said,
I fell asleep like this.
So I wake up like this.
Sorry, but, again, we're injecting humor because we have to.
Yeah.
This is literally a coping mechanism, and people will say, watch out for the warning signs. You don't always see them.
So there's a lot of people who play this game that are not afraid to say depression or have anxiety or any of those things. So I started a support buddies group on Facebook for these people. And so because of hearing about this recent loss, I'd already been toying with the idea, but now I know for sure that Amar and I need to do this. We're going to start a Facebook.
Yeah.
That's going to be for anybody. It's not going to be just for like the one that I started just for my game is place so those people are talking to people they know. In this case, it's going to be the people we know that are gamers and maybe non-gamers, but friends. And then
people
they
who
can
have a wealth of knowledge in a lot of these subjects.
And they're free to invite other members, even if we personally don't know who they are.
We'll accept.
And so once we get that done, probably when I post my next video, which will be soon, I will have
as soon as
that.
I teach you how to work editing software.
Exactly. So
or I edit software for you.
I will have it. I will have that already set up, and I will put that link in my description so that you're free to join.
Down below here on both of our channels, because this is going on both of our channels, there will be links to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. There will be ones for the European Union if we can find them.
Yeah.
There will be the text line, the Trevor Project, everything we can find to try and help you, the Nightists, the Nevermore, the Game Theorists, YouTube as a whole. We are going to do it. We will even put links to our emails, our Facebooks. I do Twitch live streams, and you're welcome to come talk to me. Even if it's in the middle of a stream, I will stop, and I will talk to you.
And I also tend to be a moderator when she's streaming, if I'm not playing.
She's a mod on my channel.
And I will answer you. I will talk to you.
Even if she is playing, she's usually on my channel anyway, stream sniping me.
Mm-hmm.
But she tries to avoid me that way. It still doesn't work. But we are going to do everything we can.
Yes.
Not just for ourselves, because let's be honest, helping other people when you are depressive actually helps.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Because you know you're not alone.
And knowing that you're not alone can help someone else.
Yeah.
And we want to tell you guys you're not alone. You're not.
And we don't judge you.
At all.
It doesn't matter why you feel the way you feel. What matters is that you're feeling it.
Your emotions are yours. Your emotions are valid.
Exactly.
And I don't care what society says. Screw society. I don't care if you're male, if you're female, if you're transgender, if you're asexual. Does not matter.
Nope.
What matters is you are you. And you are feeling down. And you are feeling like you want to end it. And we want you to reach out.
Yeah.
So do us a favor. Do yourself the favor.
Reach out to someone.
Even if it's us, even if it's a stranger you've never met on a telephone or a text line.
Maybe someone you see in the chat group. It doesn't matter.
Even if it's someone you see in the comments.
Yeah.
Reach out. Your story shouldn't end with a period. It's a semicolon. Keep it going. As Jared Padalecki and his foundation say, never give up, never surrender, always keep fighting.
And
of course, Markiplier. We love Mark. Whatever you do, be it big, small, have a goal and believe in yourself. Mark has said those words, and we're going to echo them.
And those believing in yourself can be as simple as I'm going to wake up.
I'm going to get out of bed. God knows we've had problems with those. But even doing that one small thing, I'm feeling down, I'm going to go take a shower.
It means everything.
It can change the world. So, this has been Amara.
Been Wet Viper.
I'm Jess.
I'm Liz.
We'll talk to you soon, guys.